Welcome into another Johnny Torch live broadcast number 225. Oh, this is Torch News Roundup number 268. I think I got that reversed on the image. I got to change it. All right, so welcome into the show. We've got a pretty big show for you today, considering not too many topics, but we've got some juicy topics to sink our teeth into. Welcome in. Here we are sitting atop the fair metropolis below in stately Torch Tower. We've got a few new trailers I'm going trailer crazy. I've got 2 more trailers ready to debut. You already seen one of them. We debuted that one last week. And we've got plenty of exciting things to talk about. First off, I'll give you a quick update on Bullets Bourbon issue 10, our big 10th anniversary issue. 10 big years in publishing The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye. Actually, last year was the 30th anniversary of the creation of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye. So this whole saga has been with me since childhood. And it feels like it's been, I don't want to sound too pretentious, but my life's mission to bring this to the eager masses. The issue 10 here is going to be the Man of Our Times arc, and it starts with Get the Lead Out, the first issue in the arc, casebook number 10. Pencil Neck is released from Lockmore Prison's wing for the criminally insane, allegedly sane and powerless. Bullets, of course, knows that things are not always as they seem. Will the supposedly former master criminal revert to his old ways? You got to find out when you read The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye, issue number 10, Get the Lead Out. And as we've seen before, there's a few images that I put up last week. You can look at that last week's show. And you can see how Pencil Neck may begin the process of restoring his incredible powers. Well, let's check that out in another video. Check out the most recent video for that. But we want to get straight to it here. One more thing, though, I also want to bring up the commemorative funeral armbands for the Death of Bullets Bourbon storyline in the Family Jewels arc. We still have plenty of them. As I said last week, all you have to do is DM me. You can check out the link in the description below for my website, The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye, where you can use the contact page to send me a message, or you can check out the other link in the description below for my Twitter page, where you can DM me there. Any way you possibly can get your information to me. $20 takes away all 3 issues in the Family Jewels arc, and you get the commemorative limited edition, limited to 20 funeral armbands. These are professionally made. They look stunning. I was quite pleased with this. I was wearing this on the occasion of the Plastic City Con a few weeks ago. I'm hoping to see if maybe I can get some other appearance in before the year is over, but that's about all I can say about that. But like I said, get the information to me in a DM, and I will get you one of these bundles. The 3 issues, regularly $4 each if you want them individually, but you get all 4. You get the funeral armband, you get a limited edition reprint of a Carrot Top portrait, and a magnet and some stickers. So a lot of fun can be yours for a mere $20. And if you are not familiar with the Death of Bullets Bourbon saga, we have a trailer for that too. All right, so be sure to check out the link in the description below, and you can pick up any and all of these issues. As the crawl says on the screen below, you can see the prices, you can see the page count for these storylines. The all action, all ages extravaganza comes to you from the mind of Johnny Torch and Johnny Torch alone. All right, so let's get into the show. Of course, please like, share, and subscribe, and do all those fun things before we get into the show proper. Make sure everyone knows about the broadcast. All right, so let's talk about that Cobra Kai Season 2 trailer. They were promising a lot of stuff coming out about Season 5. The second trailer, I keep wanting to say Cobra Kai Season 2 because it's the second trailer. So if I slip up, don't mind me. All right, so Chosen has been brought into the fold full-time here. Somehow, it seems like Daniel in the trailer doesn't want to train the proteges any longer. And ditto for Johnny. He says he's not a sensei anymore. It's going to be interesting to see what brings these guys back, because I kind of feel like they've done this before. They've kind of done the, well, we can't do this, we're not going to do it, and then they go by the end of the season and do it. So it'll be interesting to see what changes that. Are they going to put it on the shoulders of Chosen? That maybe Chosen's going to be the one to bring the Miyagi / Sato style of karate to the Valley? I don't know. Of course, Terry Silva he's just broadened his reach all over the Valley with, as you can see here on the map that they're looking at, where he has Cobra Kai dojos all situated all over the, I don't know, the city, and apparently doing very well. Looks like they're state-of-the-art dojos now. Some other noteworthy things. It doesn't seem like the storyline with Miguel going to Mexico is that long. If you notice, there's a lot of change during this trailer. They seem like they're on summer vacation and they're at a water park or something, and Miguel and Robbie are still at odds with one another. And I don't know. It just seems like this trailer takes over the passage of a lot of time. We get a scene with Kreese finally, and that's pretty exciting to see. He's running the show in Stir, and I'm pretty sure, especially with the suggestion that he's being a model prisoner, I don't think he'll be in there for very long. So that'll be exciting to see how that works out between him and Silver. There's some interesting things. We have the new sensei, the new female sensei. She looks like she's putting Tori through the stages the same way that Silver did with Daniel. And we see a showdown between Daniel and Silver, where apparently he's gonna get his face beat up. It looks like. We don't see Mike Barnes. I suppose they're saving him for some, big reveal. The thing with Barnes is I have a feeling he's going to be somewhat like Chosen was in the, what was it, third season, where he gets an appearance and, he gets like an episode, maybe a little more. That's probably all we're going to get here. We're going to get 1 or 2 episodes. Then he's probably not going to be a major player until next season. They're going to want to save him, I think. But like I said, the show needs villains, so I hope they do kind of make use of Barnes as a bad boy, as a bad guy, before he inevitably turns to his better nature, which I imagine he's probably going to do. We get to see Johnny and Chosen fighting side by side. That's pretty exciting. And I don't know. I'm just so excited about this. This looks like it's going to be great. This looks like it's going to be a great season. Things continually build in the world of Cobra Kai. And, where it originally seemed like it was a Johnny Lawrence show, it really does now feel like it encompasses all of the Karate Kid, which is what I really wanted going into the show. When I first came into it, was hoping it wasn't just going to be the Johnny Lawrence, Daniel LaRusso feud over whatever 12 seasons, something like that. But they have encompassed the whole world now of Karate Kid films, and Cobra Kai, of course, not being limited to just what's going on in Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is kind of the impetus for what sets all this in motion, because Johnny wants to bring back Cobra Kai. Kreese horns in, Terry Silver takes it over. So Cobra Kai is, of course, the pivotal part of the show, but I like the way it encompasses everything. And again, we've got the Next Generation cast, which is also very good. Something that they were very wise in the way they've sort of fostered them and grew them into the show. And I can't really see losing any of them. So it's great that they still find ways to make them all an integral part of the show. So yeah, they one more thing. They have a scene where I think it was meant to sort of tease and excite fans that maybe Dutch was coming back, because we see the back of the head of someone who was like bleach blonde, buzz cut. But we do see earlier in the trailer there's an Asian guy with the blonde buzz cut, and he's part of the Cobra Kai team, I guess, that comes with the new female sensei. I think that's all it is. I don't think it's going to be Dutch. It could be. They could always coax him back, and it could be a surprise. But I'm thinking it's probably just going to be that guy, and that was sort of just a little bit of a tease on their part to try to, you know, get people excited about something that probably isn't going to happen, but it might happen in a future season. I think there's always the possibility they might get Dutch back. From what I understand, I think he's the most, uh, you know, away from his acting roots. I don't think he's acted for a long time, and he's sort of just out there. Where a lot of these actors weren't really doing much, let's be honest, and they still managed to come back. So I think there's always the possibility they'll get him back at some point. Would be interesting anyway. All right, so let me know what you think about Cobra Kai Season 5 trailer, September 9th. Are you going to be there? I will. I am looking forward to this like nobody's business, like no tomorrow. Just really excited for this show, and so glad I don't have to wait the extra 3 months. I don't know. I mean, we all know that they are going to probably do multiple seasons after this one. I haven't heard anything about the next season starting filming yet. I know this one was in the can because they managed to get ahead of themselves, which was nice because of, I think it was 2020. They had already like broken ties with YouTube, and they had time while they were shopping the show around to make another season. And so they had a season in the can when they started shooting another season, where most of these shows, they are only like, 6 episodes out or something. It's like the show is starting to broadcast while they're still filming the last 3 episodes. So in this case, it was good because not only was the show completely done, but they had already started working on the next season of shows. And that's why we get this little bump now of, well, we don't have to wait a full year for a season. But hopefully they start working on the next season already. I haven't heard about that yet, but that will be exciting for them to be able to, jump right into the saddle, and maybe we can get a spring. Well, spring is probably a little too much to ask if they haven't started shooting it. But I remember when the first couple of seasons came out, it was always like in April. I think it was March, April, or April, May when the show used to debut. Now it's like, New Year's Eve. But really, I hope it comes out twice a year. That would be the desire, especially since, you're not really dealing with a show that needs special effects by and large. I mean, you really don't need high budget for doing a Cobra Kai show. And the fact that it's only, 10 episodes, I forget. It's not too cumbersome to probably bang out 2 seasons in a year. So I really hope they do. But let me know what you think in the comments below. What are you hoping for in Cobra Kai Season 5? All right, so let's see. Next up, our next story. I thought this was pretty interesting. I don't know if this is something you have to take with a grain of salt or not, but there's been a lot of talk about a World War Hulk film. And we all know that, I think at this point everybody knows that Universal holds the distribution rights of the Incredible Hulk. It goes back to the 70s. They picked up the rights. They had the rights to the Hulk, Spider-Man, I think Doctor Strange, because they did the TV show, Captain America, and if I remember correctly, was it Silver Surfer and Human Torch? Or I want to say, no, I think that's what it was. Or Submariner. It might have been Submariner and Human Torch, or something like that. But in the 70s, they picked up a lot of Marvel characters and tried to do shows with them. And as you know, a lot of them failed. I mean, Captain America didn't do so hot. Doctor Strange didn't do so hot. Spider-Man was mildly successful. And of course, The Incredible Hulk was the runaway success under Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno, Kenneth Johnson. Flash forward years later, they apparently, Universal apparently managed to hold on to the reins of The Incredible Hulk because it was their most successful Marvel project. And so obviously they didn't want to let that go. So they managed to hold on to those rights for a long time. Now, what that means is that if Marvel wants to put out an Incredible Hulk movie, then Universal gets the distribution rights. Now, that turns out to be a pretty good chunk of change for Universal. And that was fine with Paramount when they were financing Marvel during phase one, and they managed to get the movies out and, split the Hulk proceeds, if not 50-50, at least 60-40. When Marvel, the MCU, was sold over to Disney, Disney don't play that. They want the whole pie to themselves. They're big enough that they have the pull to just run the whole show themselves. So they're not gonna play fair. They're not gonna play tag with Universal. But according to this, that's kind of a long preamble to get to this part. But according to this, Universal's hold may be waning on the Hulk. Now, let me also preface this by saying I hate what they're doing with the Hulk now. I mean, in the MCU, when they started the Incredible Hulk movie with Ed Norton, it was a great movie. It was fantastic. And a lot of people poo-poo that movie, and I don't understand why. But the Incredible Hulk movie is fantastic. That is the best representation of the Incredible Hulk that we have on film, pretty much bar none. I mean, my heart of hearts will always belong to Bill Bixby's David Banner, even though it's wildly inconsistent with the comic version of the Incredible Hulk. But the MCU movie, The Incredible Hulk, was the best of both worlds. They tried to pay homage to the Bill Bixby, David Banner Hulk storyline. Of course, doing the experiment on himself and some ties to that. Plus, they went deeper into the comic lore than the TV show ever did. We had General Ross, we had Betty Ross, we had Leonard Stearns, we had Abomination, of course, Emil Blonsky, we had Samuel Stearns. Is that what I tried to say before? I was thinking of what's the guy's name with the green hair? Doc Samson. I think I was getting I was getting confused with him. But basically, a lot of Hulk characters were brought into the movie, and it felt like a real world Hulk thing, and it got me very excited, particularly because I thought this was going to launch us into a Hulk trilogy. Such a great performance by all those actors. Of course, Edward Norton was bowing out of it because of mutual conflict there between he and the studio, Kevin Feige, apparently. And then they dropped the Hulk like a bad habit once the Hulk franchise, once the Disney picked up the rights. So the problem being that what they did was they basically farmed out a lot of characters in the MCU. You got Glenn Talbot in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which Adrian Pasteur, I think his name is, played him very well. But again, he had absolutely nothing to do with the Hulk, and it was a tragedy. So that's why I don't mind if they want to put Agents of Shield on another Earth and reintroduce Talbot, reintroduce Absorbing Man. There's a lot of characters that they used in Agents of Shield that really deserve their due cinematically. But then again, you see what they did to Taskmaster. I digress. All right, so now look at the Hulk as we have him. This is what we have now. We've progressed from having the epitome of the comic accurate Hulk smash, Prime Hulk to Smart Hulk. And it's pretty sad because this is just it's just heartbreaking for me to see what they've done to my boy. Now, the Hulk is, for those of you that don't know, Hulk is my favorite superhero. I grew up being very little watching the Bill Bixby show in reruns with Lou Ferrigno. And I love that show. I took it to heart and I love that character. The misunderstood monster, the brilliant scientist that wants to be free of his other persona. It just captivated me at a young age. Unfortunately, in the comics, as I grew older, by the time I was 7 or 8 years old, they had the Smart Hulk in the comics, where it was Banner's brain in the Hulk's body, and that carried on for a long time. Then they made him sort of the Savage Hulk with absolutely no Banner persona, which I hated as well. And then they kind of, over the years, they've gone back and forth, and they did Joe Fix-It and all that other stuff that Peter David did that I couldn't stand. So, again, I broke ties with comics a lot of reasons much earlier than most people did because of things like that. Because the nature of comics going back and forth and always reinventing the wheel was always a pain for me, because things like the Hulk the concept of the Hulk has never gotten back to that original Prime Hulk smash. It always needs to be brought back to something else, like the Joe Fix-It and the Gray Hulk. And the Hulk was better when he was just a rage monster. He was a a quiet soul, but he just wanted to be left alone. And I really don't see, especially in this day and age, how that doesn't appeal to everybody, that character. But they still feel like they need to change it. He needs to be smart. He needs to be a low-level gangster or whatever. I don't know. But all right, let's get to the copy. I've prefaced this long enough. Prior to now, they'll repeat some of what I said here in the copy, but bear with me. Prior to Disney's acquisition of Marvel Entertainment, movies like Captain America: The First Avenger and Iron Man were distributed by Paramount Pictures. That all changed with the Avengers in 2012, though the Hulk has remained tied to Universal Pictures, the studio that released 2003's Hulk and The Incredible Hulk 2008. While the Green Goliath has been able to co-star in movies like Avengers Endgame and Thor Ragnarok, Marvel Studios and Disney are prohibited from releasing a Hulk movie unless it's through Universal. That wouldn't be a good business decision, but the deal may be nearing its end. An eagle-eyed Redditor has unearthed an SEC filing from 2006 that notes Universal Studios has agreed to distribute Marvel's film The Incredible Hulk and sequels on essentially the same terms as those on which Paramount has agreed to distribute the other films financed and produced under the film faculty. We all knew that, of course, but here's where things get interesting. Paramount shall have the right to exercise its Paramount distribution rights with respect to each picture for an initial period of 15 years commencing on the initial theatrical exhibition of such picture, the initial distribution term. Clearly, a 15-year deal was also made with Universal, and this means Marvel Studios could forge ahead with a Hulk movie next year. The distribution agreement would conclude in June. Interesting. This would tie into reports that there are plans for a World War Hulk movie, and with a recent She-Hulk attorney at law clip showing a Sicarian spaceship taking aim at the Jade Giant, we're guessing he's heading into outer space. A movie that is a logical place to tell that story, so don't be surprised if the title is announced during D23. I don't believe this, to be honest with you. I think it's possible that that deal will be expiring at some point. You got to remember, these legal things always last just so long. And I think at some point they're going to get the rights to the Hulk back as a a complete process where they'll be able to distribute it and whatever in house. But I don't really know that they're going to go to Sakaar and do all that because they already did sort of World War Hulk light in Ragnarok. And they needed him back, the Hulk, for Endgame because they wanted to have all players on deck. So I kind of feel like we got that arc already. I don't really think they're going to go back to it. If they do, it's going to be wildly different than World War Hulk, which, all these Marvel films that are based on something previously existing always turn out to be, wildly different. But my biggest regret is at this point, it'll be 15 years too late because now William Hurt is dead. And they're probably, I don't think they're going to recast General Ross. I don't know if they really need that character anymore. They have Smart Hulk now, which is a big goof that I can't stand. I don't know how they're going to eventually bring back the Savage Hulk, but if they do, I mean, this seems to be more the place where you end the story for the Hulk. I guess Mark Ruffalo is still attached to them somehow to do this. He's got a contract to continue on as a Hulk. So again, I don't know. We haven't seen Betty Ross in heaven knows how long. They still sort of stringing along Abomination, and I can understand why. But we have no other idea about what they're going to do with the leader. We haven't seen any of the side characters. Doc Samson. It's just, I don't know where they're going to go from here. And I think that's part of the problem with the reason why they don't want to include the Incredible Hulk in the, the wider picture, because they don't really want to go back to a lot of that stuff. They're happy to go back to Abomination. That was one of the highlights of that film. But they want to do the goofy kind of leader character. They had a woefully miscast actor playing Doc Samson. I don't know how the heck they would get Doc Samson as seen in the movies from that actor, unless, of course, they're going to make him a computer-generated character. I don't know. But that guy did not look like... I mean, I couldn't buy his face on, like, a buff body. So, I don't know. I think that's the reason why they're kind of distancing themselves from the Incredible Hulk film. But, I don't know. I'm excited. Hopefully, we'll see how this goes. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you excited for the possibility of a World War Hulk film? Are you excited about the possibility of the Hulk getting his own standalone trilogy now at this point, maybe, if this report is true? Let me know in the comments below. Very excited about that, though, as the Hulk is my favorite character. I like to see how that goes. All right, so we're going to do our world premiere now, halfway through the show. These are the trailers. We'll show one now, and then we'll do another story. This is the opening credits that you should be thinking and hearing every time you see the opening of a Bullets Bourbon story. So here we are, the world premiere fanfare. Well, if that don't get you excited, I don't know what's wrong with you. That is our new opening. That is so exciting. I love that. And that was a lot of fun to put together. That was the commercial or the trailer or the show opener that I've had in my head for years. I just love it. And I found a wonderful piece of music. I really love doing the animation for Pencil Neck's eyes, because I don't think people really get the idea when they're seeing it on the page the way his eyes are supposed to be flashing like that. His eyes flash blue and red back and forth like that. And I managed to do that in the trailer animation there. Oh, it looks so great. Ah, so awesome. I really love sharing the Adventures of Bullets Bourbon with you guys. So make sure you check out the link in the description below. Make sure you pick up your own copy of any of our issues. We've got the first issue, sort of our taster. That's what I consider the first issue, because the first issue, like I always say, I really wanted it to be a taster. I wanted people to really just get the idea of the flavor of the universe. The second storyline, the third storyline, you obviously are building the world. And you have to have patience. That's kind of the way it is when you're talking about like a Kevin Feige, and I would even say a George Lucas, where you have to be patient to build up these things. You have to get the audience in on the ground level, and you have to have them understand that it's a staircase. You have to, I've tried to describe this like many ways. This is a different one. It's a staircase. You have to climb the staircase one step at a time. If you jump over a couple of steps, you're going to end up slipping and falling off the staircase, because people are going to be confused and not know what you're trying to do. So you enter on the ground level. You say, okay, this is what we're doing. This is the way this universe works. These are the crazy villains. This is how they meet, and some of the side characters operate with each other. Then as you progress, as you go up the story builds and builds, and the stakes get higher and the threats get bigger, and more characters are coming in, and you get to have them interact. That's how you create a good storyline. And if, especially in my case, when you're doing, you know, this is something I'm going to do the rest of my life. This is not just going to have a certain arc that goes up and then it comes down and ends. This is just continually building up. The sky's the limit, as they say. And so, really, that's how it's done. And I'm so excited because now at this point in my career, 10 years in, this is our big 10th anniversary. I've got enough stuff behind me in stories that has got enough, you know, material that will take me for another 10 years. And I've already got the next 10 years planned out, literally. I've got about 7 more stories, I think, about 7 already pre-written and drawn. All I got to do is color them, letter them, get them bounced out. And we'll be doing that again, as we have all along, pretty much 2 issues a year. That's about what I can do. It's a one-man operation. We do all of them. You know, it's a one-man operation, and I say we do all of them. But, you know, I have a file guy that helps me out. But apart from that, it's a one-man operation. I can do about one every 6 months. So, again, the more successful we are at this, the more issues we'll probably be able to produce at a quicker clip. And I'm also, you know, excited that at this point I've learned to do the trailer, the commercial. It's always a learning experience. Always learn to do more. Always learn to get better at what you already know. Just keep trying. Keep trying, and you know, what is difficult to succeed at, you know, might take more time, but you will succeed at it if you keep trying and continue long enough. Then you'll get there. All right, so let's. We were talking about the Hulk. She-Hulk, I think, debuts tomorrow. I don't think I'm gonna do a video for the first episode. Sometimes I do that for like first episodes in a series, and sometimes I don't. I think I'm just gonna do the whole series on this one and do a review on that. I kind of noped out on Miss Marvel, but I probably will see that around the time the Marvels comes out. But that's the only one I kind of noped out on. Well, I didn't see What If either, but nothing that has come out of that show has made me the least bit interested in it. All right, so let's talk about this story. Just came out, I think last night is when I saw it. But let's see. Superman and Lois actor Jordan Elsass. I don't really know how to pronounce it. I haven't heard his name pronounced. Looks like Elsass. Elsass, I'm going to say. I could be wrong. Apologies if I am. But according to Deadline, Superman and Lois will be back this fall, but the show will return one of its original regulars. It doesn't. Again, I read these nonsensical sentences, and it's the fault of the copy because it's not me. I'm reading it this way. The show will return one of its original regulars. I don't know what that means. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, Jordan Ellis has exited the acclaimed DC series due to personal reasons. The role of Jonathan Kent will now be recast for the forthcoming season 3. According to Deadline, the decision was made after Elsass did not report back to set in Vancouver earlier this week, with the rest of the cast to begin work on the new season. No further details are currently available, but in a statement, Warner Brothers TV said Jordan Elsass has notified the studio that he will not be returning to Superman and Lois for season 3 due to personal reasons. The role of Jonathan Kent will be recast. Elsass has yet to comment, but will likely know more in the coming days. Superman and Lois season 3 is slated to return early 2023. All right, so let's speculate on this for a moment. A lot of people are saying that the reason why is because he's refused to take the thing. And I don't know exactly. Maybe this has something to do with his social media. He said this. I don't know. I haven't heard this. But some are speculating because, especially since they're filming in Vancouver and it's very difficult for transportation and stuff to not have the thing, in Canada as it is, he is willing to leave the role rather than take the thing. And I admire him for that if that's the case, because he shouldn't be forced to do a medical procedure just to work. I think also personally, and this is also sort of, there's an undercurrent of talk about this, is that he has come out sort of in the past saying that his Jonathan Kent isn't bi, his Jonathan Kent doesn't have powers, so his Jonathan Kent is not the same as the comics. Now, obviously, they're going to, at some point, I felt very strongly all along, they're going to give Jonathan Kent powers, and he is going to get some kind of costume and superhero persona at some point. They're also going to make him bi like the comics. You don't just do that in this day and age, particularly on the CW, and not acquiesce to having a bi character if that's the person you're playing is in the comics is also bi. And I don't think, from like I said, from the little bit that I've heard him in interviews, he's not thrilled about playing a bi character. I mean, some dudes just don't want to kiss other dudes, and I again applaud him for rather leaving the role than do something that he would be uncomfortable doing. Uh, it's pretty sad because I like this kid. I really think I really liked him probably most of the out of all the cast, apart from the Superman actor Tyler Hoechlin. I think he was probably my second favorite character, and you also had they were all good, of course. I mean the Lois actress and the Jordan actor, all very good. But I thought he was very good as Jonathan, and he gives me like Chris O'Donnell vibes. I would love to see this kid play Dick Grayson. Honestly, I mean, I hate this thought of continuing the Matt Reeves universe, so I would hold off on him until maybe doing whatever the new DCEU project is for Batman, post Matt Reeves. But I would take a look at him for Dick Grayson, and he would be a great Robin. And progress him as Nightwing, and carry on. Maybe darken his hair a little bit, but he really has the look, to me, of a Dick Grayson. So hopefully things turn out well for Jordan Ellis' career. Some people are saying he's also said it's due to a mental illness condition. That's kind of vague. I don't know what that means. Whether maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's could be any number of things, lest we speculate. But I mean, there you have it. I mean, who knows? It's kind of a very strange thing that I would not have expected, but it doesn't surprise me, given, like I said, what we know about what they're going to do with Jonathan Kent, especially since they don't have a CW, they don't have an Arrowverse anymore. They don't have a Berlanti verse anymore where they can have these shows like Batwoman, um, uh, Legends of Tomorrow. I'm trying to think. I mean, even Arrow was probably somewhat LGBTQ at some point. They need to have this in their DC branding for some reason. And unless, of course, maybe Zaslav is going to step in. I don't know. But I don't know. They don't want to put him on the bus, apparently, because he's a big part of the show. I mean, when it came to Kate Kane, they recast her with the drop of a hat. They got rid of Ruby Rose, or Ruby Rose wanted to leave, and they just recast that character with a different actress altogether. Of course, they ended up ultimately recasting the character. So I guess it doesn't matter one way or the other, but let me know what you think. Again, kind of bittersweet. I really liked this kid, and I thought the show was good. I hope they're not going to ruin the show. Hope they're not going to ruin his character, and I hope he does well. I wish him the best in his career, and I hope he gets another chance at playing a superhero at some point, because he was the powerless brother, and it's kind of a thankless job to begin with. But yeah, that's about where it's at. Okay, so one last story of the evening. And of course, it shouldn't come as no big surprise. We have our Ezra Miller update, because Ezra's back in the news yet again.
Did you want to fight? Is that the deal?
Whoa, bro.
Fight?
Yep, Ezra is back in the news, and apparently he is going to be a changed man, or them. They're willing to change their ways, I guess, is the politically correct way of doing it. The fun thing about doing the Ezra Miller update is that I don't have to go far to try to find the weirdest pictures of him possible, because, quite frankly, he outdoes himself every time I do a Google search on him. All right, so a recent report indicated that Warner Brothers Discovery was considering 3 options for how to proceed with The Flash, one of which involved convincing star Ezra Miller to issue a public apology for his violent, troubling behavior. Now likely under pressure from the studio bigwigs, the actor has finally broken his silence by releasing a statement to Variety. Quote, "Having recently gone through a time of intense crisis, I now understand that I am suffering complex mental health issues and have begun ongoing treatment," Miller said. "I want to apologize to everyone that I have alarmed and upset with my past behavior. I'm committed to doing the necessary work to getting back to a healthy, safe, and productive stage in my life." Miller has been on a steady downward spiral since the first of many incidents. They were caught on camera choking a woman outside a bar in Iceland, and multiple accusations of physical and verbal abuse, theft, breaking and entering, harassment, child endangerment, and more leveled at the Justice League actor. Most notably, they were charged with felony burglary in Vermont. We're not sure how well this apology will go over, but Warner Brothers Discovery is clearly hoping it has the desired effect and takes some of the pressure off mounting a campaign to promote The Flash, which is still set for a June 23rd, 2023 release. It remains to be seen if Miller will actually be involved in the movie's press tour and other promotion, but it'll probably come down to how their apology is received, and if they do follow through by seeking the help they so clearly need. All right, so what are your thoughts on this? Do you buy Ezra Miller has turned over a new leaf and getting a new lease on life, getting treatment, getting help, and how will Warner Brothers react to this? Is this what they wanted out of him, and that'll be enough to keep him as their Flash? I don't think so. I mean, this might mean that he gets to promote the film a little bit, but I don't really see them doing anything with him going forward. I think it's just too much. I mean, I don't know if I want to say they've burned their bridges with him, but I think they most definitely have done their, I think he's done harm, irreparable harm, and I think they've gone as far as they can with him. Nobody is really a big fan of his Flash. I guess he's got his fans, but nobody's really going to cry over Ezra being ousted as the Flash. So is this the end of our we've long covered this sad tale of the Flash movie / Ezra Miller, And as far as I know, plans still are in place for the Flash to be released. So it will be out there in the world eventually. And only the good Lord knows how well it's going to be received. They do have Michael Keaton as their ace in the hole, I suppose. So that's about it. That's all we have for you today. A nice midweek, I guess this is what they call hump day. A nice midweek Torch News roundup to keep you guys all on your toes. I feel like sometimes I don't do enough videos, and then there's other times where I feel like I'm doing them at such a steady clip. But see, the good thing is I'm taking a couple of weeks off after completing the last book. I say I'm gonna just completely take it easy, and I'm gonna play video games, and now I got a chance to catch up on my video games or whatever. Yeah, right. No, I completed like 3 trailers, and gonna try to do a bunch of live streams if I possibly can. We want to get the word out, and not enough people know about the Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye. So please like, share, subscribe. We got our final trailer to debut in just a moment, the closing credits of Bullets Bourbon. But I want to also, if you made it this far into the show, if you got your own live stream and you got your own YouTube channel and you got your own comic, maybe you got a Kickstarter or Indiegogo, let me know. I'll try to promote you if you'll try to promote me. Now I've got 4 trailers. If you want to trade trailers, I'll let you have mine. You let me have yours. You don't even need to come on the show and vice versa. If you just play the trailer on the show, I'll be happy to do the same. And I'll commit to doing it for, about 6 live streams. We'll call it that. Why not? Do it for 6 live streams and let me know what you think. If it's helpful to you, if it's beneficial to you. I don't know that, it's going to set the world on fire, but if it helps, it'll help. And I'm hopefully going to get the trailer out to some other live streamers, broadcasters, whatever you want to call it. So thank you for joining us yet again. Please like, share, and subscribe. Check out The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye. Get the Let Out will be out before the end of the year. I certainly hope, God willing, as our big 10th anniversary issue hits the press. Just waiting on my guy to finish up with the file, and we'll have that at the press. And, like I said, they give me a long lead-in time of when it will come out, but since it's still arguably early enough in the year, even if they take what they usually take, which is 2 months, we'll still have it out by the end of the year. So be sure to check that out, and let me know if you want a copy of any of the other issues that we are offering. All right, and so let's check out our final trailer. This is the closing credits. This is at the end of every Bullets Bourbon issue. The end of every story arc. When the closing credits roll and I wanted to hear a nice saxophone solo as Bullets walks away into the distance, into the fog, into the moonlight, and prepares for his next adventure, wherever he should be needed next. So, until next we meet, this is Johnny Torch reminding you once again, keep the flame burning brightly, and I'll be with you again real soon.